So again, one of the things I love about Hex is that you get kind of that extra information about like what your opponent's playing just from their champion power. Cassia Gold Knight means Ruby Diamond Candles or Diamond Sapphire, and they're playing Ruby Diamond, and we've got a Scars of War in our opener, so that's pretty good. They're afraid the server gets too full. I mean, like, that's much better than the alternative of like people like what we have now. Like a lot of the times if you're looking for something that's just like kind of uncommon that people don't bother to list, like so a lot of times there's just like not listings of them because people don't bother to list them because they don't sell very quickly. I love Hex as a game, and it's my favorite TCG, and the actual gameplay interface is very good, but the auction house and the deck editor both definitely leave a little bit to be desired. An auction house at all is better than what we deal with in Magic Online, at least, but, you know, if the deck editor could, like, import from text and let me move cards around while I stack them, that would be ideal. Alright, Acolyte of Flame. So, Scars of War in this matchup's a little bit of a bob and weave. You don't want to get too greedy with it because your opponent can have a chance to like blow you out by making their candles larger than the 2/2. You also need to dance around Wax Dawn a little bit. That's a quick action that lets them give Illuminate 2. You can't, yeah, exactly, right? Magic players say crap like that all the time. It's like, you hate Magic? It's like, no, I'm just like giving constructive feedback on something that I enjoy doing. I can enjoy something and still be critical of it and give useful feedback. Yep. They're gonna start building their candles up here. They're going wide. Okay, that's good for us. Hates Hex and is a communist, right? Alright, again, don't get greedy. This is like I got two for one here and their champion power, so like that's plenty to clean up. I'm gonna have Discombobulate up next turn. Another one of the things you want to do when you're playing against this candles deck is your spot removal is good. Every candle you kill is one more candle they need to make before they start making their candles larger. You can have the Stud Finder. Do I want to Discombobulate this? This makes 2 candles. I think I do. So this just like interrupts the card. And then we each get a random card that we can play. So this makes their next light devoted slightly worse as well. So like it keeps pressure off the table. And it makes their next light worse. Ooh, Wax Sacrament's actually great for us, right? It's our 6th resource. Wings of Wax, sure. Wings of Wax is actually kind of annoying because it means our troops can't jump block theirs, but I guess like we don't have a lot of jump blockers anyways, right? Runic Upheaval is also great. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and play this drop of Wax out. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. So Runic Upheaval is my favorite draw card in any card game ever. It draws a card, and then if it picked up a No, there's an actual Stud Finder. I wouldn't let him have a hammer. I let him have the actual Stud Finder, though. I'm only a little bit of a crappy father. I'm letting him. The Stud Finder is not dangerous. No, we were hanging the pictures behind us. So, alright, so Runic Upheaval. It draws a card, and if it draws a non-resource card, that card gains the line of text. When you play this, deal damage equal to its cost to something. So, hopefully we're going to grab a non-resource here. Yeah, that's part of the reason, Dark Wonders. Also, having the extra card in our hand is useful when we hit our champion power at some point. So I think I need to start shooting these down. Again, just like the more of these I kill, the more likely that they are to, so what I'm searching for, the more likely that there are to make more candles before they play something else. This Stifling Sting, I don't just want to shoot a candle with, because I could use this to interrupt like a Wax Dawn or a Choir of Lumos if it's low enough. Alright, so Runic Incandescence here. I'm going to go ahead and Stifling Sting my opponent's dome here. And this deals 3 damage to an opponent or a troop. And if it deals damage to my opponent this way, it interrupts every action that costs 3 or less in the chain. So now we're hoping to dodge that one. That's kind of scary. So this illuminates 3, so they have 6 6s now. So we're going to 9 here. Thankfully, this Candlelight can dumpster one of these. Alright. Right, Runic Riddles. So I'm gonna play this. So we're at 9. So we need to dodge. We need to dodge another copy of Choir of Lumos here. Magic doesn't even call things landfall anymore. Magic doesn't even use landfall anymore, and momentum is fundamentally different than landfall because of how it stacks up. Flame Lick is also lethal. Yep, good call, Robinson. If we don't die to this turn, I have this Into the Unknown to put this back into their hand next turn. Resource here. I'm gonna put a non-resource on top of my deck here and just attack for 1. I'm gonna continue holding this Dingle up so that way we can interrupt like a Scion of Lyvanth. Frost Blast, yep, that's fine. I mean, like, to be fair, Klutz, I don't really have any other answers in my shards that like can answer a 6/6 nicely, right? I'm gonna go ahead and pick this guy up. And this turns into a random other diamond thing. We get a candle because I have this. I'm gonna go ahead and play this Runic Riddles, which was drawn by the Runic Upheaval. So in addition to getting its normal effect, it's gonna go ahead and deal damage and kill this candle. Yep, we play Magic in the afternoon, so about 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we start about 4 hours from now. And this illuminates as well because of my Candlelight. And again, this is just like the friendly reminder that 1 and 0 are different numbers. So we'll do this Runic Avalanche, which hits a shard, which is kind of unfortunate, but it does let me replay this. I would love a Discombobulate here. This interrupts any card. So interrupting any card is good when we are at 3 health. We want to just try and not get cheesed out of this game, basically. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I'm supposed to play this Drop of Wax. Yeah, I'm going to play this Drop of Wax out. It means I can't play one of my draw cards this turn, but it buries their Fate Weave, which is nice. Luminite is fine. Friar Tusk, then sweet. This Dingle was drawn by a Runic Upheaval, so it's gonna. Oh wait, it keeps the bonus, right? This is awkward. So this is just like a really large Dingler. All right, that's fine. My candles are gonna get kind of large here soon too. Take the Luminite off the table at least. So one of the things that's important to note is this doesn't do what's called revert the card. So the bonuses that this got from when it was a candle are still there. So there's a Candlelight. I think I'm just going to start pumping my candles up at this point. I don't want to hit my champion power, I don't think, because I'm kind of happy with all the cards in my hand. That's another thing about this deck, is that you don't want to use your champion power willy-nilly. You want to make sure that you are kind of using it when you need a specific thing. So here's my Runic Riddles. Go ahead and grab another. Verdict of the Ancient Kings is great. Again, just like trying to insulate ourselves against. Oh, this is great. This deals 6 twice to Ejir with Runic Upheaval. I forgot about that. So let's Candlelight this and do an extra 6 upstairs. And this is actually going to be lethal, right? Because we're going to make all these 4/4s and clear their blocker. If I could play 7 upheavals, I would play 7 upheavals. 10 out of 10, not close. They do not let you play 7 upheavals though, so alas, we are forced to do what we have here. Alright, Cinder's in, Verdict in, Dingle's pretty bad in this matchup. Into the Unknown's pretty bad in this matchup. The rest of these cards are fine. Like, some of them aren't super exciting, but they're fine. Not like super high on Runebind. I think it's okay. Can reset a candle, which is nice. I don't think hitting the constant is where I want to be in life. Like, until I Candlelight, I don't have a lot of blockers anyways. What's Saravanth? Oh, Livanth? Is that supposed to be Livanth? Maybe. I have a bunch of interrupts. Maybe I should just leave some Dingles in. I can kind of prioritize saving my Discombobulate, something like that. It's great. It's got Scars of War in the opener again. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Livanth's not super popular. And, like, the other part of the problem is that, like, Into the Unknowning, prismatic cards, like, isn't terribly exciting. One of the things you want to make sure you do in this deck is don't be greedy. This deck needs to hit 4 resources in 4 turns every game. So if you don't have 4 resources guaranteed, Fate Weave the 4th resource. Always get more shards. And again, I even like our hand's pretty good. I'm not like looking for specific things. Like, I already have a Scars and a Cinder and a Runebind, so like I'm just gonna keep stacking resources here and hit all my shard drops. Yeah, that's fine. Yep, just gonna keep stacking resources. Just keep stacking, stacking, stacking. Just keep stacking. Do do do. Coin, sure. They've got a lot of slow shards in their deck. We saw a Kuna coin last game as well, in addition to Ice. Runic Incandescence, that's fine. And again, don't get greedy. Don't get greedy with Scars of War. I am going to be perfectly happy to Scars of War this board my opponent has next turn. Like, there's no reason to try and get more than 4 candles out of this. Although I guess I have this Runebind. Nah, I'm a liar. We're going to listen to my border for a second here. We're going to play this and pass. If I didn't have this Runebind, I'd pull the trigger on Scars of War right now. But because I have this Runebind, I'm going to go ahead and pass the turn because, like, Runebind can, like, tag things like Waxdawn that could otherwise blow me out. Yeah, we'll definitely play some more candles at some point. I try to play a variety here. I think I'm going to play something close to the deck I played. I think I'm going to play the Blood Ruby deck again this weekend on Saturday, so something I'm working on. Man, this Scars of War is about to be real good. And now, because we drew this extra resource here, I'm actually going to go ahead and hold on to this Ayotochi Coins, so that way we can We can turn that into something that's not a resource later if we need to. What's going on, Tren? Just hanging out. Playing some interactive TCGs. My favorite kind of TCGs. Was that good? If so, why? Could anyone please explain? And like from the candle side, like if my opponent comes back and like watches this on the archive, I think they could have like insulated their board against Candlelight a little bit in a couple of different, or against Scars of War in a couple different ways there. I think they definitely could have like started making their candles larger sooner. They also could have maybe just like not committed the Luminite into the board. Like I'm pretty committed to killing the candles that they already had, so like they didn't have to lose their 2/2 as well there. Just gonna take one here. So this is a really small thing, but against decks that have Riposte, you want to play your actions during their second main phase, because Riposte says the action that you take returns to your opponent's hand during your end of turn. So that means this does give my opponent a chance to resolve this Scion, but that's fine. I think that's not a big deal. I think I'd much rather play around Riposte than this. My Candlelight is active now. I have this return to Cinder, so I now have a Scars of War. Just gonna go ahead and hit this now. Like, let's just clear these nerds out. Flame Barrage. My poor Candlekin. My poor Candlekin, what did he ever do to you? Just hot candle on candle violence. Do you have any outdoor hobbies? Not anymore. Once upon a time, my wife and I actually met through scouting. We did a lot of outdoor stuff with that as a adolescent. Yeah, that's just, it's so very true. It's just like, and that's the reason why, like, when we play Magic, I've been avoiding Modern, because, like, so many of my losses in Modern just feel like I got run over without having the chance to do anything. And, like, in Hex, the format tends to be so interactive on average that, like, I can look back at most games and go, oh, I probably made mistakes here, and here. I had different percentage plays at these points to give myself a better chance to win the game. This is definitely like, this is a nightmare matchup for the Candles deck, right? Like our deck is very reasonable against the Candles deck. Yes, ice reduces the non-games by a lot. It's really like I liked Hex before we had the Fate Weave mechanic, but like the Fate Weave mechanic is just like they've been so good at leveraging the digital design space to like make the games more enjoyable. Flame Barrage. What if we didn't and instead you died? So I'm going to Runebind this, which double illuminates makes my candles 5/5s. And then I'm going to go ahead and Verdict of the Ancient Kings their rune, which makes my candles 7/7s. These are my candles. My candles are amazing. I would not be surprised if Ice became Evergreen, if they became core commons. I'd be pretty happy if they made Ice core commons. That being said, like, they have a while before they have to make that decision, right? Like, we're not, what's the word I'm searching for? Ice doesn't rotate till set 7-8, doesn't rotate till set 12. So that's like, we have 9-10 is 9 months from now, and then so it's like 18 months from now or so. Ice for core commons in 2020, right? Mr. Burkhardt, if you're out there, I'm gonna need you to make it happen. Think of the Fate Wave. No, it's every even set we have a rotation, Port. It's every even set. Odd sets are gem rotations, even sets are set rotations. That's why set 8 had a rotation. It's okay. We don't know if they're playing the aggressive Verdict deck or... Okay, looks like they're playing Diamond Sapphire Control, which is actually great. I think this matchup is a lot of fun to play, and I think it's slightly favorable for us. Note, set 10, sets 5 and 6 will rotate. So Fate Weave was in set 7. So set 12, the Ice Shard will rotate out. And more important than ever, I said you want to make sure you hit your 4 resource drops. You want to hit like your first 10 resource drops in these control beers. Just like all of them. Line them up. I just want every shard drop. Can't risk discarding my resource here. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep guaranteeing resource drops here. I don't think I need to discombobulate anything next turn. They might be able to stick a Dark Heart now, but like, I don't really care about a Dark Heart. It just like nugs us for 4 for a little while until we eventually kill it. Also, like, if we hit a Sapphire, you just untap it into the Unknown. I think the bolts are very good in Shadow. I think the bolts and the Teamer Battle Rages get you out of a lot of games that you can't otherwise win. Like, people that... I feel like the people that keep saying, like, Grixis Shadow isn't very good in Modern anymore, they don't understand how to play the deck. The deck isn't a mid-range control or value deck. Grixis Shadow is a tempo deck. It is an aggro control deck. Like, people like to say Grixis Shadow is like this really interactive deck because they want to feel smart and thin and think that there's this really good interactive deck in Modern, but it's not. It's this aggressive deck that kills people, and killing people is the reason why it's good. People just don't want to tell themselves that because they want to feel smart and thin and stroke themselves off while they play Magic. Modern is not a format about feeling smart and thin. It's a format about killing people. All right, well, that's sweet. All right, we missed on another shard drop here, but we already have our 5th lined up at least. All right, and then we hit it, and this replays. It's actually a touch awkward here because now I'm gonna have to discard, right? I mean, like, you only have so many slots in your deck is what it comes down to. It's like, that's exactly right, but it's like Delver if Delver was a 10-10 instead of a 3-2 flyer. Discard here. Am I gonna bin this Stifling Sting? No. I bin this into the Unknown. Think I have enough tools to keep a Dark Heart down. They pay 1 mana instead of 1 health, right? Glory. I kind of wish I had the End of the Unknown to pick that back up now. I'm gonna discombobulate this. Righteous Outlaw is actually kind of a funny hit here. And that's why I kind of like Discombobulate. Sometimes it creates us cards that are just like, oh, well, that card's great. Like, let's play that card. And like other times it doesn't, but still fine in general, I think. I have a Daybreak. I don't care how much health you get. When I win this game, it's going to be by a landslide. Tickles me pink every time. I've had that happen a few times too. It's good. It's good clean living, you could say. Winter's Grasp. Oh no. Oh no, don't Winter's Grasp me. Alright, I'm gonna Stifling Sting you. So again, this domes them for 3 and then interrupts every action on the chain. And the sweet thing about if they Runebind this, then that means I get to, okay, nope, not doing that, sure. Into the Unknown, yep, sure, deal. That's a good clean deal right there. Random basic action, special cards, put it into your hand. What are the odds they have Verdict of the Ancient Kings in their main deck? Low. I'm just gonna fire off this Candlelight here. I guess I feel bad if they Runebind and then untap and Darkheart me. So maybe that's a reason not to do this. Yeah. Oh no, no! Oh god, I punted! Declan, you were screaming and I was talking. I should have. God, this is like the entire game here. I should have hit my champion power. Not only do I have a bunch of cards that are bad, but like, yes, 10 out of 10 should hit the champ power. Declan was screaming, and then I tried to talk. They don't have a Darkheart, so we're not getting punished. God bless. God bless us, everyone. No, we are getting punished. Damn it, Declan. Yeah, punished. I'm glad we've got 4 of those in our deck, I guess. All right, we'll play this, I guess. Dang it, Bobby. Kill those. They're down to 2 cards in their hand at least, so we've got that going for us. Didn't play around Decklid, yep. I mean, there's a chance that like we wouldn't have hit resources anyways, but like Swooping Gravitas, create a common portal and put it into your hand, sure. Decklid needs to be nerfed, right? It's not his fault we're playing a forgettable champ, right? Just gonna jam this Runic Upheaval, because this is like the last card I kind of care about in my hand, so like, I guess the verdicts are okay. Alright, another Runic Upheaval. Am I just stinging this? You're probably just stinging this. I mean, did you listen? Did you stop breathing? This seems like good brotherly advice. Wait, what did I draw with this? I drew Dingles. This one deals damage. The Dingle is actually not terrible in this matchup. It interrupts Silvertail and Adjudicator. This is fine. Have a Daybreak. Again, don't care how much health you have. When I win with Candlelight, we're gonna win by a lot. Take 3, that's fine. I'm gonna Runic Upheaval again here at end step. Depending on what else they do, I suppose. These portal cards are so weird. No, I don't think so. I think when I have enough cards like this in my hand that I care about, like... Let's just go ahead and do this. Book you for 2 upstairs. Have an Ugly Dork. Sure. Getcha. Getcha. Nope. Stop it. Stop it. What a chain. What a chain. That's a good line for my opponent using their portal. So, this is really small, but one of the things that you do in this deck a lot of the time is I'm going to Runic Upheaval during my ready step here. So that way, if I draw a resource for my turn, I get to go ahead and get this back right away. And it didn't come up, but... So the only card I really care about here is Verdict of the Ancient Kings, right? So I'm actually going to go ahead and hit this. I kind of want to hit a Shard drop here. We had a Shard drop. We discarded a card I didn't really care about. Perfect. Get to go ahead. So, like, the only thing that punishes my aggressive use here is if they have Psychic Ascension plus an interrupt here. And then if they don't have exactly that, we're going to be in a great spot. Guidance resolves. Guidance resolves. Bingo. This deck, I built this deck to be good in the control mirror. It's certainly, when I build my decks with one purpose, they're usually good at that purpose. What do you think? 7 cards in my hand. What are the odds I can interrupt just like Bowie Starlight? Look at this. So this is going to wait. This will kill everything, right? Yeah, I'm gonna hold my Discombobulate. So this is fine. So I'm gonna play the Scars of War, that it deals damage equal to its cost to something, and then the actual Scars of War will clean up the rest of the board here. So now we've got my 7 cards to their 1 card. Kiki Cord was really good at beating one specific deck every single week. You can always build that deck to beat one thing. The deck you're playing weak against, it's kind of medium against the Sockets decks. It also doesn't have like a good random chaff matchup. So like the random like Verdict Constance decks, like the aggressive Verdict deck that we played against a couple times earlier on the latter day is actually a pretty tough matchup. If your deck attacks and isn't weak to Scars of War, this is going to give this deck a hard time. So if your deck attacks and it's not great against Scars of War, then this deck has a fine matchup against it most of the time. This is kind of a combo, so we get to go ahead and put a guaranteed non-resource on top of my deck, so I know this Runic Upheaval is going to draw something that's going to get to deal damage. Yeah, it's things that attacking don't discard. I actually think this deck is very reasonable. I actually have a primer for it halfway written that's going to go up on Hex Primal later this week to get that finished. I was just thinking I need a Candlelight to win this game, because we didn't resolve our Candlelight earlier. So now the game's going to end very quickly. This Candlelight does 12 because we drew it with a Runic Upheaval. And then we're going to start putting a bunch of candles into play, and our opponent's going to get buried very quickly. Yeah, you also, this is what's referred to, I would refer to as a small edges deck. You have a lot of really micro decision points to make in every single game, and if you're making the wrong ones, you're going to end up very sad. All right, so now what do I want to do? I'm just going to pass back to my turn. One of the things you want to keep in mind in these control mirrors is that these Stifling Stings often interrupt Psychic Ascension in the mid to late game. I'm gonna go ahead and play this Rune Fusion here just to get a candle going. Fire with fire. Summon a copy of target troop. Sure. I'm just gonna put a non-resource on top of my deck with this for now. And again, I have 7 charges here, but I'm not hitting my champion power because I'm happy with the contents of my hand currently. If my hand was missing something or I needed a specific answer to something, then I would go looking, but I'm not looking for anything in particular. So we're just like, gonna come back to our turn now. There's another Candlelight. That's great. You're gonna attack with this. Probably just gonna discard this Drop of Chaos. And remember, the Illuminates from Candlelight stack. So that means when I play the second Candlelight, all of my actions are gonna start illuminating one twice, which ends the game very quickly. Oh, look, I don't even have to. I can just get to... Nice Dreamcall. Here's my Runebind, you know, my constructed staple. Good chat, good chat. Quality card advantage card you've played here. Make a candle. Your turn. For those that don't know how Runebind interacts with X cards, even when my opponent draws a resource, this is now cast with X equals 0, so it just literally doesn't do anything. Runebind is a hard counter to it. It depends on what your definition of cheap is. And those cards definitely did get a touch more expensive when I first streamed this deck. So they need 2 interrupts to beat this, because I have Verdict plus Stifling Sting here. Make another candle. At this point, am I just trying to kill them? Yeah. Just gonna play this Stifling Sting out. And it was drawn by a Runic Upheaval earlier, so it's gonna deal 6 and then illuminate twice here. I'm just like, again, make sure they don't resolve Psychic Ascension, and then eventually you win the game. Though, winning the game eventually is my favorite part. Alright, sting you. I didn't sting at the end of turn because I didn't want them to be able to do something to kill my things. And we have Verdict plus Discombobulate here. You're dead. Got him. You're dead. Alright, so Verdict comes in, Runic Upheaval comes in, Psychic Ascension comes in, Scars of War comes out. So I made fun of their Dreamcalls. So these Dreamcalls aren't in our reserves explicitly for this matchup. Dreamcall is in our reserves for the blood matchups that are playing cards like Cockatrice and what's the other card? Cockatrice and Demented Whisper, just because like they give us a mass of cards. But I think because I have it, I just bring it in here. It's like not exciting, but it's just like a definition of this is fine. Dingle's not super good in this matchup, but it's very good against Silver Talon Adjudicator, which is one of their better cards. I don't think Disruptor Drone's supposed to come in here. They don't really have constants that we care about. I don't really care about Daybreaks or Nightfalls.
Mommy, I see mommy, see mommy, I see mommy, I see mommy, I see mommy.
We are playing a 61 card main deck because I am a savage mouth breather.
I see mommy, see mommy. I see.
If your goal, someone asked what this deck's bad matchups are earlier. Laddering quickly is a bad matchup for this deck. This is not the deck you want to play if you want to climb the ladder with speed in mind. You want to watch Goes? Need to take this extra stop off my ready step here. I stacked a 5th resource on top of my deck here because, again, these matchups generally come down to, like, making all of your resource drops. You don't want to brick and die. A lot of the times we end up playing Drago until, like, there's one big pivotal turn where, like, whoever has more resources and more cards they can play ends up coming out on top. Goes is Power Rangers because the theme song is Go Go Power Rangers. And now you speak more Declinese. Now you speak some Declinese. Enjoy. How's the player base? Is it dead? The player base is fine. It's definitely smaller than something like Hearthstone or Magic Online, but there's more than enough people to get games consistently. And you don't have to take my word for it. If you go to hexpvptools.com, Hex is very transparent with all of their data, not only with archetype data from being played in events, but also with information on the ladder. See, I have to discombobulate this, and I wish I had a Dingle, so then I didn't have to spend that on it. And I mean, like, people talk about waiting a bit, but, like, you really don't wait. Like, a lot of times my wait time for Hex matches is much lower than, like, Legacy matches on Magic Online, right? Like, Magic Online matches, we wait 5 minutes pretty consistently. On here, I don't think I ever wait more than 3 or 4. And again, part of the wait time is that games like Eternal and Test Legends and some of these other CCGs, because their ladder is best of 1, they give the illusion of having a large player base better because the players get into the queue more often, right? With Hex, when 2 players sit down to play a Hex match, like my opponents and I, we've been playing this match for 18 minutes and like we might not even be half done yet. Man, that feels bad. All right, I'm gonna Runic Riddles in response here. This lets them draw cards. Do I want Upheaval or do I want this Verdict? I think I want Upheaval. I think I want to just try and like mass cards up at this point. Your troops can get bigger, that's fine. Alright, so we recast this. We're going to have to 9 cards in hand. Definitely take a sting at this point. I'm going to go ahead and play out Polyberry Pouch here, just because I don't want to have to discard it. I don't want to aggressively sting this, I don't think. Yeah, Eternal's gameplay is fine. I hate the CCG model so much. Like, so many of these games, and like, I really enjoy Hex's gameplay. And like, there's a lot of them that are just like, yeah, this gameplay is interesting, and like, they're all doing like these different, slightly unique things. But like, so many of them, I just like, I can't even give them a real chance because like, the CCG model just doesn't enable me to do that without spending fistfuls of money. It's like, I get it. I would maybe play your game, but like, you want all of my dollar reduced for me to play your game, so no. All right, pass back here. Now, during my opponent's end step, I'm probably going to Stifling Sting this if they don't give me anything else to do with my resources. Actually, am I going to Sting it now? Nah, they might play another card. I'm just going to take this hit. Our health total, like, isn't really in danger in this matchup a lot of the time. I think using my health total as a bit of a resource here is fine. This is one of the reasons why I love Sting in this matchup. Like, a lot of the times in these control matchups post board, there's like this bit of like awkward bob and weave, like how much removal do I leave in my deck versus not. Play this Nameless Draught out here. Am I just passing here? No, they Fate Wove, right? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and drop of Chaos. It ticks my Psychic Ascension down. I'm not gonna Champ Power anytime soon anyways until after I play my PA, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that and pass the turn. Buried a Shard off their deck. Ooh, they're on Bounty of the Magus. That's good to know. This is a Polyberry Pouch. It was generated from a Discombobulate. It's a 0-cost artifact that transforms a troop into a +1 cost thing. I played it out because we were gonna have to discard it, but it does also act as like an insulator to like keep this insulated from a dark card for a turn, which is nice. Also, sacrifice and artifact are constant. I would love to sacrifice this Polyberry Pouch. Nice verdict. Tormented Locksmith. This was probably gotten off of no, was that actually just in their deck? This might just be in their deck. There wasn't an arrow to my Discombobulate. Alright, maybe I was just supposed to Sabretooth that actually. I think I was just supposed to Sabretooth that. Alright, this is a good window for us. So I'm just gonna go ahead, because we got to recast that, I get to cast the Psychic Ascension with Runebind up here. So, like, my opponent needs double Runebind or Halt plus Runebind here. Verdict's not going to do it. So now we've ascended and they have not. So they need an Ascension next turn. I don't think they've played enough actions to play an Ascension yet, right? They've played one action. So, yeah, our opponent should likely be thoroughly dumpstered here just because, like, they can't even Ascend now. Like, there's a reason why we have an Ascension in the board. Ooh, they have Bury in their Dark Heart. Oh, they don't have... Well, that's good for us. So I'm going to start by hitting this. So what Ascension does is, for those that are new to Hex, every time I play an action, I generate a random troop with the same cost as that action. What's under that? A Verdict? I think I'm just going to play... So I want to play this for 6. At least be... Yeah, I'm going to play this out. This is fine. So this Dreamcall got drawn off of... I don't want to bounce anything with this Walrus because I want to kill their Dark Heart with my Dreamcall trigger here. So now I can sting them to interrupt their weave into nothing. And now this deny is free because I've put 2 troops into play. What a chain. What a chain. And now I've emptied my hand. They have a 3rd interrupt here, will be a little bit sad. If they have a 3rd interrupt, will be a little bit sad. My opponent doesn't want to play Hex anymore. I agree, opponent. You are not winning this game anymore. Oh, that was great. All right. All right. Let's keep another one with this. Let's queue up one more, and then we'll use less brain cells for the last hour of the stream, and we'll queue up momentum. I wanted to see what Dreamcall get. Decklist is blocking the chain. I'd like to say good morning, afternoon, and good night to everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for choosing to spend part of your day here with us. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a TCG player and content producer. We're hanging out playing some Hex Shards of Fate this morning. If you're enjoying what you see, please remember to hit that follow button. It doesn't cost you anything, helps other people find my stuff. If you're really enjoying what you see, please consider subscribing on Twitch or becoming a patron on Patreon. It's the best way you can support my content here. It lets me spend more time doing stuff like this and less time doing other things. You can also support my content by supporting my sponsors. HexPrimal.com would love to buy and sell Hex TCG singles with you. And if you use promo code Jeff5 at checkout with them, you'll save 5% on your singles orders with them. And InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience. They do custom playmats, mouse pads. They do accessories for physical card games like mouse pads and sleeves. You can upload your own custom artwork or choose from the wide range of custom artwork they have on their website. Opponent is playing Adani Zedek again here, so probably the same deck we just played against. Any chance of sockets instead of momentum to close out? Yeah, I can do that. I can do sockets instead. We haven't played sockets in a little while. I think sockets is one of the better decks in the format right now. Play some more Ruby Sapphire. You'll note again that I Fate will have a resource at the top of my deck. Again, I think this looks like it's a control mirror most likely, so I just want to make sure I'm hitting all of my shard drops here. And if I do end up a touch flooded, I can cycle Ayotochi Coins to kind of find more action that way too. Hey, we're 2-0 with Ruby Sapphire control, Bobby. I need you to calm down over there, okay? Oh, is it the Dawn Charger plus first to the host deck? I forgot if he was playing a Donnie Zedek. All right, yeah, this is fine. I think I'm just going to go ahead and Scars of War to clean this board up. This happens. Yeah, you can have a card, right? Because you have to discard now. I think the momentum deck is fine. Bob and Burgle are just on like this giant anti-momentum train, basically. They like to feel smart and thin. They don't like to run people over. I guess they could possibly be a Darkheart deck, so like playing this Rune of Upheaval out aggressively might be loose. Nothing. All right, not punished for being aggressive with us. Just making sure it resolves, basically. Every time I play it, I die in a fire. To be fair, Bob, you've died in a fire with everything you've played recently, so I don't know if that's fair. Well, so the Arcane Banner Champ is really awkward because you have Darkhearts in your deck, but I agree. When I play Diamond Sapphire Control, I play Calic as the champion. So I'm gonna go ahead and Runic Riddles here, because if my opponent chooses to interrupt this with a weave into nothing, I'm gonna untap and Candlelight them. God, you are loud, child. Yeah, you think you're funny? Think you're funny, punk? Maybe I should have played the non-slow shard so I could Runic Upheaval plus Dingle this turn. Yeah, because I could do this, and now I can't Runic Upheaval. Yeah, I should have played the Nameless Draught there. That was a mistake. So, my opponent could get a combo going here now, but I'm just going to go ahead and Candlelight. Just, like, get my Candlelight guaranteed resolved here. And they have another first to the host. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. Although I guess I just Candlelight this and then I can probably race them from here, right? I rant less than Hex streams. There's just less obnoxious people, right? Have a daybreak, friendo. We're gonna win this game by a lot. Miles. This is not a game of inches. This is a game of miles. Alright, Runic Upheaval draws a shard, of course. Runic Riddles finds 2 dodge shards, of course. Alright, well, let's Candlelight this Storko. And now all of my actions have Illuminate 2. And then next turn, I could even Candlelight again. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and drop it like it's hot here. They iced last turn, right? Just make a couple candles. I'm not going to champ power just yet because I don't really want to discard my extra Candlelight because I really want to run them into the ground. All of their constants and troops now summon 2 angels when they come into play. So, like, that's kind of scary. Alright, so I'm gonna play this out. Bogart? I don't know if I have the ladder rank to play Bogart. I think I actually had someone send a donation to play Bogart, but I think I need to wait until after the ladder season restarts for that to be a thing we can do. So I might have to wait for the new year. Cause like I'm only 20 something right now, and if I lose too many matches, it's not gonna be good for me. Illusionary form comes into play, makes an angel, it's going to target that thing. Wait, why can't I? Okay, it's like, wait, is it lagging? Like, what is going on? Why can't I respond to this? I have a Runebind for that, that's unfortunate. Alright, let's hit this. So if I hit a shard, I can shoot down one of these angels. Wow, I didn't hit a shard. Okay. A little brutal. Yeah, we might lose this game. First of the host got in there. Losing the scars kind of sucks because it takes my away my out of double scars to kill these angels. Free banishing, sure. That also makes it angel. Gross. Well, we're definitely bringing our extra Dingle for this matchup. The opponent's deck is really adorable.
Yay.
So many angels.
Mommy! Mommy!
Yeah, Burgle. Morning Hex. Same stuff all the time. No, this is the same person. Arg just plays like mono dumpster fires. All right, what are we doing? So Verdict's fine. I already have the extra Dingle in my deck. This is fine. Scars of War actually, well, I guess they have that stupid constant, right? Primordial Sabretooth doesn't do much. I guess this kills, Stifling Sting doesn't interrupt anything I care about and doesn't kill anything I care about. Yeah, that's true. I think I'm going to bring in these Dreamcalls because they can undo a Runebind at will. Let's try that. And people are again asking earlier, like, what are the bad matchups for this deck? And I said Random Chaff is a bad matchup for this deck, and that's 110% the truth, right? Like, this control deck is built in a way to attack Blood decks and Diamond Sapphire Control and the Candles deck as the anti-aggressive deck, and it has some tools for helping beat Sockets and Arcing Rust, but just like, you know, your opponent is playing a deck that's just like off meta, you're going to have a really hard time with it a lot of the time if your answers don't line up properly against the off meta cards that they're choosing to play. Which is a big part of the reason why control decks tend to do much better in established formats as opposed to formats where
Mommy, Dad.
yeah, definitely. Like Diamond Sapphire, like not knocking Diamond Sapphire control deck at all. Like Diamond Sapphire is like a very reasonable stack of hex cards. Discombobulate. I don't think they have any non-troops I need to discombobulate next turn. I already have 5 resource drops guaranteed, so I'm gonna go ahead and just play that. Also, Dreamcall can just like get us a shard drop, which is kind of nice. Like when you're counting on Dreamcall to be like a card that like wins you the game, it's kind of disappointing. But when you're counting on Dreamcall to like make a shard drop, it's like, yeah, this is fine. Have a 2/2. Nice champion power. How much is a good hex deck and what's a good one to start with? The budget Diamond Ruby Candles deck is like $14 and it's very competitive. There was a version of it with some small upgrades actually top 8 the 1K this past weekend. If you're not interested in playing budget decks, you just want to play like a deck with no constraints, the average competitive deck this season is probably somewhere between like 90 and 150 or so, depending on what you're picking up. I'm Sabretoothing this Brittle Arcanovex because my opponent put Tale of Insight on it. That's interesting. Okay, so they're just gonna do this, so then they'll get this back. Oh, and just play Exhausted too, right? That's a tilt, so they're gonna get another action, and they're gonna get a I asked earlier, I don't think you saw it. For the Ruby Diamond Escalate deck, could we have played Blood for Whispers? I don't think so. Also, like, a big part of why Whispers is good in, like, the Blood Ruby deck I was playing is that, what's the word I'm saying? What's the words I'm searching for? The Blood Ruby deck is good with Whispers because it has ways to redraw them. When you don't have ways to see multiple Whispers a game consistently, the card's kind of anemic. greedy. Try and kill this again, because again, it's drawing them a card every time it diligences. I'm going to discombobulate this one. I really don't want them getting this card advantage here. If they have a Runebind for this, I'm just going to concede the game. Yep, and this game, like, we could keep playing, but, like, the rating's on the wall at this point. My opponent's deck has pretty thoroughly gotten underneath us here. And, they are generating card advantage, and we don't have any sources of card advantage, so we're going to lose this game probably, like, 24 turns from now, but I'm just going to go ahead and pack it in for a ladder match. If we were playing, like, a 1K, I would make them grind it out, but we're not, so I'm not going to. Let's update Ruby Sapphire sockets. Burgle, did you have the latest sockets list? Did you guys try the different 3-drops? Did you really put the consult list? That seems like really misleading, Burgle. I mean, I'm gonna go copy it from there now to see if it's okay, but like putting an untested list in a metagame list, like that's kind of doing a disservice to people that are like planning to look at your thing, right? Because like when people are like going, they're like expecting to find like known proven deck lists, right? Not a bunch of like random stuff. Yeah, I still feel like that's disingenuous. Like if I was linking someone a thing, I want like actual things that like had success. All right, Forge Fist. We're gonna give it a go and kick the tires on it. And it might be better. I'm just saying, like, from my like content creation background perspective, I like that's not like I'm not looking for innovation when I link someone to a this is the metagame. I'm looking for things that are like actually have been played and been successful in the metagame. Or my last altar on the board. Yeah, it was... Why do I own so many control sounds? Because I know I don't play a lot of limited on this channel, but I really liked 665 limited. Here, actually, let's just go sort by quantity. I have how many? I have 80 Cloudbounders. This is my boy. This is my jam. 80 Cloudbounders, 78 Shackling Strands, 75 Storm Riders, 72 Skyspire Scholars. We drafted a lot of Sapphire that season. But Burgle, it doesn't have all of the information. Like the point, I'm not gonna like. Obviously, you have a fundamental disagreement, but like the point of summary articles is to provide reasonable summaries, and like this doesn't do that. If this is like you making predictions, it's not actually a metagame guide. If it's like not actual decks from the metagame, like when you're writing a brew article, yeah, I agree with you that like sure we're writing about a brew, let's do that. But like this is like not that, basically. Like if it's not the first week of the season, I avoid putting things that are like aren't proven into metagame things. I'm still copying. Hold on, man. I'm still net decking. I am mid net deck here. 10. Wait, that's way too many shards. Wait, what? Orwell. God, his site is such garbage. It's not even sorted in order of like resources, non-resources to make this easy. what do I have that shouldn't be here? There should be a Fire Soul. It's a Swift Strike, I assume. There's supposed to be a Badger in my deck. Yep, that's the last Galvanism gem. Probably not supposed to be a Lapidary, I assume. And what else isn't supposed to be in my deck? 4 Runebinds, 4 Heartcaller. You have 4 Shard Swornswell. So I have some. What is in my deck that's not supposed to be here? Then that means the deck list on Burgle's site is wrong, just for reference. There's... Okay, so... I'm just like, Burgle, you should go look at the deck list you have posted there. There's definitely 3 Ruby Ice listed, which that makes sense. There were definitely too many shards here, right? This is 8, 11, so it's 23 resources. That's probably fine. Too many rubies of the arena. No Sapphire Ice. The Ruby Ice are correct. Well, if all of the shards were in order, it would be easier for me to tell that. Yeah, I guess you're right. There's no... Alright. What are my... I've got too many arenas here. One of these, a Swift Strike. I'm just used to net decking from good sites. I can't net deck under these conditions, Burgle. I can't net deck under these conditions. Candlelight. There's a random Sting in the board. This sockets list that I'm playing was an old one. One, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. What do I have that's not supposed to be here? Oh, Into the Unknowns. Like, what is there's a card in here that shouldn't be here? Yeah, the lack of an import from text is one of the biggest issues with Hex's deck editor. Like I said, love a lot of things about Hex. Deck editor needs some work.